Well, good morning, everybody. It must be Tuesday if Bobby's in the office.
Yep. How you doing, Ed?
Good, man. Thanks for coming in the studio. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Sorry, we don't have a couch to sit on. It's just then we'd have to have more people involved with editing. And I'd just like to get this information out as fast as possible.
Yeah. No, hey, I get it, man.
Yeah. I mean, maybe down the road we can do a special one and we'll go sit on the couch in my office. We'll get some people to come in.
Yeah. I don't know if people want full body shots, man.
Well, it is around Christmas time, so we all gain weight usually this time of the year.
Like I say, that starts at Halloween, man, when the kids get candy, right?
Oh yeah, I remember kids come in with the candy. All right, let's dump it out. Let's go through it. Make sure there's no problem. Okay, I want that one, that one, that one.
Oh yeah, I get the chocolate first.
Yeah, I got to make sure they're all good. Well, it's the kids would trade in certain things and not want certain things. So yeah, those were the days. So what's new for you in the market? So with real estate, I'm going to talk real quick, rates and everything. It's, as I keep saying, don't expect rates to go down in a straight line because we're going to see inflation data come out where it's not as low as they thought it was going to be. Like this last report last week was, a 10th higher than they thought it was going to be. So it messed up the market a little bit, but not majorly. And then, this week, yesterday, the bond auction didn't go off very well. The 10-year, there wasn't a huge demand. Well, when you don't really know when rates are going and what's happening, it's the same thing with people having issues with buying homes and afraid of making mistakes. Investors have the same feelings, the same thing. So don't worry about it. It's going to get better. But the most important thing is if you're thinking about buying a home, you should be getting in the market now, because in 6 months from now, you're going to be going, God, I wish I would have gotten the market back then. They're going to say that.
Oh yeah.
You told us and I didn't listen. So let's do it now. Okay. Well, now we're competing against 6 other people instead of just yourself. So let's get moving.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know that market's coming back, man, and it's going to be exhausting like it was before.
Yeah, because you can tell it's there because people are active. Like I've been qualifying, probably talking to 20 people a week now. About interested in buying homes, and they're all not ready yet, but they're getting there and they're getting in place and all that. So that's more than I've talked to even during pandemic times and other things. I would talk to 5 people, they're ready to go. Right now it's, you talk to 20 people, 25 people a week. That's what I'm dealing with, a ton of people interested. And it's one of those things, it's going to get to a point where the pent up demand is just going to go crazy. And I see that happening.
Yeah. And I know you've discussed it. I've heard it too, like at open houses where people are like, well, we're kind of waiting to see like the first of the year. I'm like, I don't know what this first of the year stuff is.
It's just, they always do that, planning for the future.
I guess, right? People like, they see it like
it's Christmas right now, even though it's the best time to buy because it's the best deal for a buyer, they still want to wait. It's just a reason.
Well, now I know this is, can be anecdotal if it's not like, a whole set of, well, you know what I'm saying? It's something that happened once, right?
Right.
But so I had an open house this weekend, and originally a different agent was going to hold it for me, but it was going to be raining. I'd already advertised it though.
Like, is it going to be raining? It really rains.
Well,
we got 1.5 inches in 2 days.
Yeah, I mean that was the Friday evening. She emailed me and I said I'll just go ahead and do it because I've already paid for advertising and stuff, right? So I did it, and it was raining, and you know what? Even though it was raining, I still had 3 people, or 3 families come through the open house, right? So I mean that tells you that they were serious buyers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's been times on a beautiful spring day at an awesome listing that I'll have no people come through. So that it may be anecdotal based on what I experienced, but that tells me there's still a lot of interest in this market, even during the holidays.
There's interest because you have 2 choices. You can either buy or rent. And I qualifying somebody over like in Antioch and some of these places lately. And they're like, what do you pay for rent? $5,000 a month.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, you're throwing away $60,000 a year.
Hey, tell them come buy my listing in Riverbank.
Well, they want to buy over there $1 million. But so I run the numbers for them and I'm like, okay, so for $1,700 more a month, you don't throw away $66,000 a year.
Yeah.
Or whatever, 6, 7, actually $5,000 a month. Yeah. $60,000 a year.
Yeah.
Now you're investing 60 plus another 17,000, right? I mean, technically and she's good with that because she understands that. Well, the problem over here is when people are like, well, I'm living with family, or I'm paying $800 or $1,200 a month. And my new payment is going to be $3,000. That's just too much for me. Right. It's just, you have to understand that those small rent payments aren't always going to be there. Someone's going to come along and say, okay, now I'm going to sell this house. What? And now you're going to new rent payments are way more than that.
Yeah. So I was talking to some people, at the open house, and they're saying that they're renting an apartment. It's not too far from the freeway, so it's going to be a little bit more, but $2,500 for a 2-1.
Yeah,
I mean,
Lathrop's that way, 1-1.
Yeah, I mean that's not too surprising, right?
Well, I'm just saying that's not that far away. It's not Manteca.
No,
it's Lathrop.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it's so.
I grew up in Manteca, man, and Lathrop was the town you had to go through to get to the freeway.
Right. Well, and it's just so people. There is. You have two choices in California: rent or buy. And if you don't buy, you're going to be a renter forever. So you need to. And people are seeing that. And I was talking to somebody else. I'm saying everybody was making fun of us losing all these people out of California. I'm like, the only way we had houses for other people to get into was the people leaving.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we'd have no houses to sell, meaning that you wouldn't have the volume. We still need more people to leave and sell their house to get it in order for people to buy, because we're not building anything.
Yeah. Now, I've definitely seen the people leaving. The California exodus is slow to a trickle.
Right. Well, and they're actually coming back. The current searches for places to live, Sacramento, San Diego, and then and that was for our area.
Yeah.
So yeah. So what I'm saying is people looking they're not Texas, they're not Las Vegas. It's Sacramento, San Diego, and I forget where the other three were. Top 5.
Yeah.
Well, I was like, wow, Sacramento and San Diego. Talk about two totally different extremes.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
Yeah.
Like I say, but it's not Wichita, Kansas.
No, it's
not in the wintertime.
Not Idaho either. So
yeah. Well, yeah, gosh, yeah. The Idaho market was kind of like the bellwether, right? Like, hey, here's what's going to happen, guys, when a bunch of people from California flee the state and go to one area.
Well, it's not the first time. It's not the first time this has happened. I mean, to Idaho, it happened years and years ago, and it's going to continue to happen because people want to leave here and go somewhere else. Well, I get it, but you have to be careful wherever you want to go to make sure that's where you want to live. And we talked about this before. I don't want to beat a dead horse, but you just need to go there for 6 months or whatever before you sell your house to make sure you want to really live there.
Yeah, I think that's really good advice based on what I've seen. I guess my thing with the reason why a lot of folks moved, and I debated about it too, right? A lot of folks left California to escape the political climate, right? The only problem is enough of us left that we took the politics with us. And now you're seeing issues in Texas and Idaho, social issues that weren't there before. And so now people are like, well, geez Louise, I ran away from this and I brought it right with me.
Right.
So,
well, I know some people came back and they said, we don't like California politics, but we want to be close to our grandkids. We like that more than the other. Right. And I was talking to them where they're looking to buy, and they were looking to buy up in Sonora. And I'm like, hey, you understand that if you do that level where you are in Sonora, that sometimes of the year it stays hot like all night long, the whole way. It doesn't cool off because it doesn't get the breeze. They go, anything's better than Texas, 3 months of Texas in the summer. I'm like, okay, I got it. Yeah. Because not only heat, we got humidity. So, but most important thing what I want to talk about today is stop waiting. If you're wanting to buy, you're thinking about buying, get ready. Figure out what your budget is, figure out what that number is, and then understand that you might have to bite off a little bit more than you want to chew right now, and then you refinance later. But if you can't do that, don't force yourself to do it. I'm just saying, if you can do that, do it. If you can't, don't. But
yeah, well, we talk about inventory pretty much every show, right? And there are so many investors that are cold calling all homeowners and being like, hey, are you interested in selling your house?
I constantly get that.
Yeah. I mean, they're, and I let them know I'm an agent, and they hang up on me. Right. But they are doing that, and they're going to slowly gobble up houses that never even hit the market, and before you know it, you're just gonna be like, man, like 60%, 70% of this street is rentals.
Well, the 1 in 4 single family homes is bought by a corporation now.
Yeah. And that's just scary going forward,
Well, it's been that way since 2008. When everybody ran away, a bunch of companies came in and bought. You got Chase now trying to buy up everything too that they can get their hands on. So you're not only in competition with other people who want to live there, you're in competition with companies who want to turn it into a rental market.
Yeah.
So the question really is, as a seller, do you care about your neighbors?
Yeah. And for the right price, most people don't.
Yeah, but some people do. And
Yeah. I mean, if it's family or you've been there for 30 years,
yeah,
I've had some folks who be like, wow, 30 cash over. Sure.
yeah, I don't care. I didn't like my neighbor anyway.
Yeah.
I kind of don't like my neighbor, but that's okay. I just don't like their RV they have in the driveway because it's a rental. That's the problem with rentals. The rest of our houses on the street are all owner occupied except for one, and you can tell. Yeah, and that's the problem. And so I'm against, but not only corporations, but a lot more mom and pop owners own a lot of rentals too.
Yeah.
So, and everybody I was talking to now, I tell them, don't sell your house. If you can take the money out of buy your next one, don't sell your house because you're going to want to keep that house.
Yeah.
This is, we've said that before, but there's limited supply of housing. We're still short. Keep adding to the deficit because they're not building new homes. It's not getting any better. It's going to get worse. And it's going to take 20 years to get caught up. And then in 20 years from now, we're going to have this 21-year-old kids coming from the pandemic more than the baby boomer edition. So we're going to just get caught up. And then about 5 to 7 years later, we're back into it again.
Yeah.
So keep the houses, and that's going to make it worse, but add an ADU in the back to keep it.
Yeah.
Anything you also want to go over? I don't think we touched on anything about listings or any of that kind of stuff.
Maybe we'll save that for Thursday.
All right.
So we always get a little long-winded. So
well, we're passionate about what we want to talk about.
That's right.
Get into homes, stop waiting. And you know what? You might not like everybody you work with, but we always have your best interest at heart. All right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So Bobby, thanks for being here today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Ed.
And thank you for watching. We really appreciate it. And have